G's.
What the fuck?
It's like croutons in a soup.
Don't turn down any opportunity, whether it's a camp, a clinic, because you never know literally who's watching.
Make your own decision and stick with them and know they're the right decisions, right? And even if they aren't right, don't regret them.
He didn't know creatine existed. So you got some creatine? He's like, oh, yeah. Lift heavyweight.
Shipped across the border. I shipped across the border.
Shipped across the border, man.
Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. My name is Max. I'm here with Chris, and we have probably top 5 most.
I feel like we've used that intro 95 times.
No, but this is like one of the most anticipated episodes we've had on the channel since we started.
According to whom?
According to the masses.
Okay.
Today we got the GOAT, Stephon Ridley, joining us today. What up, Steph?
What up?
So this, explain to the audience kind of what you did for the team this past year.
So I was a student assistant team manager, so I would always be around practice. I would, help scoreboard, help rebound. I also had an internship with the athletic department where I built an algorithm to help calculate some advanced stats.
Yeah, so
We're
big dogs.
definitely going to talk about the algorithm.
We're going to get into that a little bit
The infamous
later.
algorithm.
Yeah. Actually, we can just talk about it right now.
Well, I want to go because as much as the first time I ever saw you in person as a human being was the freshman orientation thing where you went up and you talked in front of everybody. So I know you're from Ohio.
Yeah.
And I know you grew up watching football, but I don't know how you got into basketball. I don't know your backstory. I know none of this. Okay. So let's go into
Quick
that.
Backstory, elevator pitch.
Tell us what went on in the childhood of Stephon Ridley.
All right, so I did first start playing football. It was the first sport I ever played. I started playing when I was like 4 years old. I hated it. I hated playing football at that point. So I stopped playing football. I picked up basketball in the second grade. I loved it instantly, right? And so, I stuck with basketball, right? I eventually started playing football again in like 7th grade because I just had this itch because I started watching it more. Literally for 2 years straight, I watched nothing but NFL Network. And I was like, you know what? I want to play football, right? And it was pretty funny because I joined the football team late that first year. And it was crazy because it's I never was this super athletic person, but I walked on the football team. I'm just the fastest person there. And I was and I played defensive tackle, which was funny because I just told coach I'll play any position. I just want to play football. And I ended up having 10 sacks that year. It was pretty interesting.
Let's open. So then, how does the basketball career get started? Where did you start out playing?
Yeah, like I said, I started playing second grade. When I got to my high school, this is a big high school, right? Division I school was 3,000, 4,000 students there, right? 7 through 12. And so 7th, 8th, 9th grade, right? I remember I was getting cut, right? There's a whole lot of lore behind that, but we won't dive too deep unless you really want to get into it. But yeah, so I remember 7th grade B team, 8th grade B team, right? I remember specifically in 7th grade, I was kicking ass on the B team, and people were like, "Why is he on the freaking B team?" And it was funny because that team had 20 players on it, counting alternates. And I remember looking at that list, and I remember just seeing my friend was number 16, and I remember seeing 18 names that were regularly on that list, and I was like, okay, I might not be this top 8 or 9 guys because these motherfuckers are good, but I was like, there's no way in hell you're telling me there's 18 motherfuckers that are better than me. No way in hell, right? And so I remember playing on a B team, and there was one alternate that would come down and play with us. And I remember at this point, I never played point guard or played guard or anything like that. But he wasn't doing well at all, so he just told me, Stephon, you go start doing that. And I started doing it, and I'm just playing super well and stuff. I'm having some games going 15, 16 points, right? And shit. And it was it was clear as day. He's the best player here. And I remember my dad always telling me, he's like, Stephon, you were clearly the best player here. I need you to start being ridiculously aggressive. Make it so obviously known, right? And that was a constant story with me all throughout high school, right? And so I said, cut 7th, 8th, 9th. I remember after 9th grade I got cut. After I worked so hard. I went through so much, right? I went to all the summer workouts, right? With varsity. I was one of 3 freshmen who went to all of those. The other 2 played varsity, right? And I went through all that. And obviously I did not fare well at all because I was I didn't play any organized real basketball to what they were doing. Played AAU for the first time in 8th grade. That was totally different. And I was like, man. But I did that, like, I remember I trained, like, the entire summer. Like, probably that summer alone, I probably spent, like, 60, 70 hours ball handling, straight ball handling. That, like, literally, and then I also remember that's when I figured out, I was like, damn, like, I could really, really shoot the ball, right? Like, I mean, like, I'm just working on my shot, right? Doing all the form shots, doing, like, all the stuff that they're saying, because I remember I had EGT shooting at the time.
Dude, did you buy that program? Bro, EGT shooting is real. That's an OG, elite guard training. That shit is way back, dude. I bought the gold package. I bought everything. I had all of that. That's a throwback.
I have the entire, like, programs.
Yeah, that's a throwback, dude.
Yeah, and I remember, and it was crazy because it's like, I remember I'm just shooting, right? And I'm just shooting, I'm like hitting like 9, 10 in a row effortlessly. And then I remember I just one day decided, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go start shooting from my court. And I'm just cashing that shit, right? It's like, holy crap. And everyone in the gym was like, who is this dude? And that was one of the things too that was like, kind of like suffering me in high school because like, I wanted to transfer, but I could never transfer because the school I went to, right? It's a really high academic school. Like, it was top 100 in like all United States. And like, you can actually like Google it. Like, my high school, like,
What's it called?
Walnut Hills High School, right?
Walnut Hills. Okay.
Right, like you could go. I think it was like 2015 or 2016. They had like 17 people score a perfect score on the ACT or something.
That's crazy.
Right, like yeah, something crazy like that. And so I didn't have that higher score. I got like a 20. I didn't study and I showed up late, so it's okay though. But so you know that was like all of high school. I made JV after like not training like that whole summer. And it was crazy because I stopped training the whole summer because like I had a lot of like asthmatic stuff happen, right? Because I have really bad asthma. Like I have like some like the most serious asthma you like you'll ever see. So I have to take a lot of meds for it. And so I remember after that I was like I worked so hard, and then my body started like not going well, my health, and I just was like, yeah, maybe basketball isn't just for me, man. Like, and my parents are like, yeah, we don't really want you playing basketball and stuff like that anyway after that stuff. And so I just stopped playing basketball. I stopped doing all that too, right?
So how do you get to from that point to being on the kind of practice like team at Elms as a college basketball athlete? What's like the in between area?
So like literally, I remember after that happened, right? I just go to school, right? And this random person comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, Stephon, are you trying out for the basketball team this year?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not trying out for the basketball team." Another person comes up like, "Hey, Stephon, are you trying out for the basketball team this year?" I'm like, "No, I'm not trying out for the basketball team this year." Another person comes up like, "Stephon, you trying out for the basketball team this year?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Wow, what else?" Right? Boom. There's some people, and more and more people keep coming up, and it's people that I know actually, right? I went to grade school with, because a lot of my people I went to grade school with were on the basketball team. And they asked me, and so I eventually said, "Yeah, sure." I started showing up to some of the open gyms and stuff too. Started playing fairly well, and then like we go to tryouts and stuff, and I ended up making the team. And I was like,
This is varsity.
Like, nah, this is JV, right?
Okay.
Play JV, right? They just asked me, right? Just play JV.
In 10th grade?
Yeah, sophomore year, right?
Okay.
And I remember too. I actually ended up playing in a fall league too, and I actually did really well. It's pretty crazy. Actually, this is like a funny ass story too. I'll just tell you guys about that fall league. I remember our coach was really mad about because we weren't scoring at all, and he called a timeout. He's like, "Who's gonna get me a bucket? Who's about to get me a basket?" Right? And so
Damn right, Stephon stepped up and got that basket. I know that's right.
Literally what happened, because I drove the ball up the court. I take 2 dribbles past half court and lace a fucking 3. And everyone's like, let me just do that crap.
That's fire.
And then I remember I got another like transition, right? Boom, in transition. I take like another 2 dribbles past half court, shoot another one, lace that one too. They're like, holy crap. Right? And then I ended up like hitting like 2 free throws, right, to finish that game. But it was like, damn, hey, that was crazy. But so on that JV year, right, I was freaking terrible, like absolutely.
After that game, you used it all in that one game.
That fall league, no, I did well that entire fall league. But like when I actually played JV, like because that fall league was right before the school ball year started. When I played JV, I was terrible, like right, and it was just like. One, I still had asthma problems. I ended up having like an 8-day stay in the ICU in the middle of the year.
Damn.
Right. 2, I was just bad, and I didn't train the whole summer because it was always going to be an adjustment from not playing organized to going up to that level where it's like my JV coach was actually coach college basketball. So it was like he runs that like a college like setup, and so it was rough. I learned a lot though. Learned a whole lot that year about playing organized basketball and a lot of the basics of basketball, right? And so, after that year, right, I I knew more than likely because what happens was at my school they was like if you had kids that didn't even play well JV, they usually go play JV their junior year, right? I knew that was me because I was just that bad. I was like, freak, screw it, it is what it is, right? And it was fine because it's like I always get better, right? And I knew I could be better because I was better before. Because I didn't get into the details about like all those years, but let's just say there were some things not working in my favor now related to basketball about why I wasn't on those teams, right? Not calling anything out, right? All those guys deserved everything they got, right? They worked for it. I'm happy for them. They earned it. But, I go into my junior year, right? And I played for the same, and the JV coach that coached me that year, who actually really liked me, he wasn't going to be a JV coach that year. He was just going to be a varsity assistant. And the ninth grade coach was moving on to JV, and it just happened that ninth grade coach was the same guy who got me 7th grade, 8th grade, and ninth grade. And literally, that was like the literally most challenging year of basketball. Not because of my play. I did well. For like the circumstances I was given, I did the most with what I could. But like more so for like how I was like treated down there. And just how he just viewed me. It made me so mad. It was like, if I put this example, right? Like, I remember I worked ridiculously hard. This is during like COVID summer, right? I worked ridiculously hard. I like overhauled like my entire game, right? I actually ended up going to a hoop group camp in the middle of that too. And I still have that evaluation like actually in my dorm. But I did not play well, but it was like I was still figuring crap out at that point. So I was like, it was what it was. When the season came around though, I was ready. And the thing was, I remember like those first like month or 2 weeks, 2, 3 years, however long it was until like that first scrimmage. I'm kicking everyone's ass in there, bro. It was like, holy crap. And I remember that first scrimmage coming around, I'm like, yeah, let's go, right? I remember like the first couple games passed and I don't play. And I'm like, it is what it is, right? I know what this dude be on a lot, right? Right, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm still staying upbeat. Third game goes, I still don't get it. Fourth game goes, I still don't get it. Fifth game goes, I get it. I finally get in like the last 6th game, right? And I mean, I'm just playing hard, but I'm pissed. I'm like, how did I not even get in for anything meaningful? And I'm literally doing absolutely everything. Like, I know all the plays. I know all the spots. I do everything you asking me. I'm playing really well. I don't give you any attitude, even when you're riding me like crazy in practice. I'm finishing first in everything. I was in the top shape, everything, whole 9 yards. And I'm like, I can't catch a break with this guy. And what made me even more mad was, I was walking out the gym. He was talking to another player, right? And they were just talking about it. Like, oh my God, did you see Stephon's face at the end of the bench when he was getting in? They were just freaking laughing about it. And I was
fucked up.
I was pissed.
That's fucked up.
Right. And I remember I used to be going in practice, and I remember I just keep going like hard and stuff, right? But obviously I still wouldn't be playing and stuff. And it's like, he wouldn't even throw me into games, and the team was like bad, like real bad. He wouldn't even throw me in. He threw me in the games when we were like down 50 or something. I'm like, I'm just mad because I'm like, you couldn't throw me down when we were like down 30 when you knew the game was already out. This guy's got to be like 50 or something. Right, and I go in there, go hit a 3, get a layup, get a couple boards or some shit, right? Do whatever my job was. I remember one game specifically, he was mad at guys because he was like, guys don't want to play hard, guys don't want to be committed. And I'm like, bro, I literally choose to come here versus go make freaking money at work all the time. I'm like.
That speaks to me, bro. As a former garbage time guy. Like that, I definitely understand that.
Did you talk to him about that?
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely had a few talks. We had mid-season evaluations, right?
Of course.
And he was like, he's talking to me in my mid-season evaluation. I was mad about that, too, because literally, this is just because I remember, like, the stats and stuff from that time, right? He rated, like, my shooting out of 5 or 3, right? And I'm like, okay, if mine's a 3, what's the shooters on the team's thing? No shade at him, but I remember at that time, I'm like, remember, I only get in garbage time. I don't get any meaningful minutes. So he's probably like 10x the minutes I get, right? And in meaningful, and he gets way more shots. Like, they really don't even pass me the ball. Like, I do everything, right? But I remember at midseason, it's like he hit like 6 threes to that point, and I'm like, I hit like 5. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you gave him something higher, like, you should probably give me something higher. And then I remember at the end of the meeting, he was like, all right, now, if you want to say F me at this time, like, this is your chance, this is your opportunity. And I decided not to say. I was like, nah. I will say, though, for feedback, a lot of the guys in practice said they would like to run pickup. They would actually like to play live more to get them some more reps. he would run us like crazy. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, he would run us so much that it was like it took away from the actual time we needed to get better. But yeah. And I remember it was so much stuff that junior year. Like, I remember one time, and this still lives rent free in my head. We were running live, right? And I inbound the ball to like the guard or whatever, right? Because he didn't even let me play guard. I was like, whatever, right? I'm just do what I'm told, right? I go down. This dude's standing in my spot, and I'm looking like, why is he in my spot? So I'm like, whatever. I'll just go to his spot. He stops practice, and he's like, Stephon, what are you doing here? I was like, well, I mean, dude was in my spot, so I just went to his spot to keep the play running. And he was like, do you ever play here in the game? And I told him honestly, I was like, you just kind of throw me in there. So, I mean, like, you don't really tell me this spot. You just kind of throw me in there, man. So I just kind of fit in or whatever. And he was like, listen, Stephon, when I put you out here, I just want you on the wing. Just you go here, right? And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, right? Yes, coach. Boom. The very next possession, that dude is still standing in my spot. And I go up to him because he told me kick him out, tell him go the way he needs to go. And I told him, right? He just was standing there. And we're just kind of like arguing and stuff. And coach was like, what is happening? And I was like, I got to kick him out my spot like you told me to. And he's like, Stephon, like, what are you doing? Why don't you just go to his spot? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Right?
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
They really be like that sometimes. So, do you play in your senior year, or do you just take that year to kind of train after the...
So, no, right? I remember, like, because this is actually where lore begins a little more. Actually, after that year...
The lore only begins here?
Like, not begin. Like, it's, like I told you, it's a long story, man.
Okay.
And
you don't need to drop all the personal stuff, but just, like...
Yeah, no, so after that, right, I played AAU, right, for my AAU coach. Shout out Cash, right?
Shout out Cash.
Shout out Cash,
bro.
Yeah, his name's Cashmere, right? You can Google me. He used to play D1 at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Subtle flex. Weird flex it, okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, but yeah, so I play AAU for him, and at this time they were like an Adidas like Silver Gauntlet program, so we would play a lot of like D2 level guys, right? And I remember when I went to that tryout, right? It was after I got cut from another tryout, and it was like I didn't play bad, but I wasn't getting buckets. So I went to this tryout, I was getting buckets, and I went nuts, absolutely nuts, right? And he was like, "Yeah, what's your name? Give me your phone number." Right, he just started talking to me. Boom, showed up. Right, I made the team and whatnot. And this is where the reality check came in. It was like, yeah, I started playing against other guys across the city who are all like first team all conference at their schools. I was like, yeah, you're good. Not that good though. Definitely rough. I will say though, the only thing I really did decently was play defense, and that is how I got my minutes. I played defense. I got sent down to the B team for a bit, but I mean, I eventually came back up. Right. Play defense, but I mean, it was still cool. It was worth it because that's when I got my first like D3 interest. Coach emailed me and said, "Hey,
coach,
like a D3 coach, right?"
Which like from what school?
It was what's that? Plattsburgh State.
Okay, was
Yeah.
it Coach Trav used to work there actually?
Yeah, I know, right? I told him, but I still have the email. But
That's funny.
Right, and so I was like, that was really cool. I didn't get to send him all my stuff because like my school, right? Because this is just more like. They didn't rock with me. Like, they just didn't rock with me. Like, the summer stuff, they weren't going to they didn't rock with me. So I didn't have anywhere to, like, showcase film. I wasn't playing AAU because I was like, I need to get better. Like, just straight up get better, do skill work, man. Because that was rough. Right? So I was unfortunate. Obviously, I went and tried out for the team again my senior year, right? And legitimately, like, right, how the trial went, just brief overview. They just threw me with the JV kids, and I'm just over there like...
Just already put you in a box type of thing.
Like, yeah, they just threw me with the JV kids, and I'm like, one jab, kill them. Jab, cross. And I'm just like, shake, like, rocker stat, bang, right? Just like, and all of them looking like, dang, is this dude like a sophomore? This dude's like freaking crazy. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, they just freaking threw me over there. I remember after the tryout happened, they were just talking to me, right? And they were like, listen, like, we like you, you're solid, but, like, if we put you on the team, like, you just wouldn't play. And, like, if that's the case, we're just going to put younger guys up there to, like, develop them more and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. But then he was like, like, we really love you. We really like what you're about. You work really hard. The guys really love you. You should be the team manager. And I declined not to do that because, well, number one, I remember I was the team manager in 9th grade after I got cut. Again, just whole different lore we're not even going to get into, right? But, I recorded games for the freshman, sophomore, and the varsity team, right? I also recorded games I recorded games after my sophomore year. I still recorded games for the for the varsity that year too. And I did a couple my senior year as well, right? And when I said no, because one, I was like, I'm not going to do that because I need to be more selfish with my time and like work on my game, work on my aspirations and stuff. But two, I was like, you guys literally just like disrespected me, like straight up just disrespect me. Also, like this is just another tad bit. Just kind of goes back deeper into that. I would go to some of the workouts before, right, the tryout, and I played fairly well. But I remember this one day specifically. This forever stick out to me because we had a 4-star. Right.
At Walnut Ridge? Is it 4-star?
At like
So?
Walnut Hills High School.
Walnut Hills?
Yeah.
Is Walnut Ridge a different school or?
Huh?
Is Walnut Ridge a different school?
Yes.
That sounds familiar.
Yes, different school. Yeah. But we had a 4-star at the time, right? Really good player, really great guy, right? And I remember like Ohio State was there, right? And now I'm not saying I'm like, oh yeah, I'm this Ohio State guy, I'm this big bad guy. I was like, no, and I knew Ohio State was there. I wasn't out there to be flashy. They ain't here to see me, right? I'm just here, get some hoops in. Let the coaches see me. Let them see I've been working it, right? And I remember, like, it's like the first game I got on, right? They're playing, like, games to, like, 7, right? Like, 1s and 2s, right? And make a free throw. The first game, I remember I get it, I hit it like a left-hand layup. I come down, I hit a 3. I hit another 3, right? Game. I hit the layup, right? I remember I didn't touch the ball for the rest of the day after that. I was like, wow. And I remember just running down the court one time, getting back a defense. And it was like a dead ball, and the coach brought me over. He's like, yeah, Stephon, you ever thought about doing wrestling? And I was pissed. I was like, wow.
Had you considered wrestling up until that point?
No.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So then, what's the recruiting process like that lands you at Elms?
So, right, I ended up taking a gap year, right? And I just had some AAU film from like me playing like my senior year, right? I played a lot better that year. And then I just had some old clips from like that hoop group thing I went to like sophomore year going into junior year summer. And I just compiled that and I just sent it to a lot of schools, right? There were a couple other schools that had interest. Like there's a D2 that said, oh, we don't have scholarship money, but if you do come here and you want to walk on, like hit us back, right? I wasn't going to do that, right? There was also another school like in NAIA that I was thinking about going to for the second half of the year, but it just didn't work out because of just timing and money and all that, right? Like I literally decided, like, I think I might actually want to do that like 2 weeks before semester. I was like, well, that wasn't happening, right? So, and I was emailing coaches still, but the thing about that school was they didn't have my major, and then not to mention just like the whole setup of the school. I was like, it is a very good chance I'm unhappy there, and for like majority of high school, I was just like unhappy, right, with just a lot of stuff, right? I was just unhappy. And so I was like, I don't want to put in my position where I'm just be like depressed or whatnot, right? And so I messaged Coach Southall. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, yeah, cool. Like you could be a part of our program and whatnot. Like you have a chance to like come try out and whatnot. And it's like, and they have a major, which I was like, I wasn't trying to go anywhere if I couldn't study computer science, right? So I eventually I go talk to Elms and whatnot, right? And I remember at high school, I actually had like a 2.4 GPA. I'm a way better student than that, obviously. Like I made D's.
I was about to say that does not reflect your intelligence.
Yeah, no, like right, like I said, there was a lot going on in high school. But
fair enough.
Right, but I still got into Elms because, like I said, like my high school has pool, right? I took like 8 APs in high school too, so that helps. But so I come to Elms, and then we have the story like that first year tryouts. I remember I came in like 15 pounds over shape. It was crazy. It was the heaviest I've ever been in my life. But I got it together, right? And like when I actually got down to shape and I started feeling like the regular me, so my injury happened. And well, yep, we kind of, had to rehab from that. I got cleared 2 months before like tryouts. Yeah.
This year?
Like,
before tryouts this year.
Like before tryouts this year, I got cleared like 2 months. Like those other like 4 or 5 months, I couldn't play basketball at all. My knee couldn't handle it. Mm-hmm. So like 2 months, it was like, all right, I got to shed weight. I actually got to try and like work on my handle some more, and also just trying to make sure like just anything else that I do is just sharp, right? Like obviously, like I've never been the most explosive person in the world, but I definitely wasn't anywhere near as explosive before, right? My strength numbers went up, but again, nowhere near explosive, nowhere near as quick laterally, even first step wise. So I was like, all right, cool. Then, obviously after that trial, like, all you guys saying, like, I played well, which is cool. I mean, Pitch said he liked my game, too, and that he really did consider it, which I do believe, because considering the tryout, I was like, during the last day, I remember, right? It was like, all right, cool. You know, we do the shooting drills and whatnot that day. He was like, all right, like, if you don't hear your name called, like, you'll be shooting with Coach Rice. And it just so happened, it was me and another guy who was shooting with Coach Rice. And they was a freshman. And so I knew at that point, I was like, oh, okay, it's straight me and him competing for a spot right now. So I did that shooting drill. I did well in the shooting drill, right? But then the rest of the day just didn't, like, play as well or up to my ability that I normally would. And I was like, fuck it. I knew after that I was getting cut, right? And it was whatever. I don't even gonna say it was whatever. It sucked because I was like, damn. Like, literally, I didn't even play, like, anywhere near, like, what I average play on a regular day. Right? But, you know, like, me and Pierce talking and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, no, I still like the team. I want to be transferred till after the year. So I was like, sure, why not, right?
So now we can kind of get into what you did for the team this year because, I mean, you definitely made a big impact in the program. And, I mean, what you did is going to kind of lay the foundation for, I guess, decisions going forward as well because, I mean, can't argue with statistics. And what you did is, like, I feel like not a lot of D3 teams have access to top tier
Computer science majors.
but also just, like, analytical data about their season. So talk a little bit about what you did. Like, you talked at the beginning of, like, scores table, rebounding, all the kind of nitty-gritty stuff, but, like, behind the scenes, kind of what were you doing?
So behind the scenes, right, a lot of that was first just doing my research because I knew about advanced stats before, right? And I knew coming into the year that I would want to build something like that. And so, like, I've been trying to, like, talk to Southall about giving me, like, the internship to do it. And eventually, you know, we got it going. And really, a lot of it was, like, all right, cool, really, like, learning, like, what these stats mean, really how to calculate them, right? And how to, like, contextualize them, right? And then a lot of that was just, like, me coding, going through, like, the play-by-play, grabbing that data, sorting it, parsing it, using Python scripts, putting different, like, you know, sets of data together. And then it's, like, me, like, having to figure out all these little things about, like, oh, this got inconsistent here. Why is it inconsistent here? Or, like, oh, like, someone's name isn't working. Why isn't someone's name working? And going through, keep researching, doing all that stuff to go ahead and get the program working. So, like I said, I've been working on this since, like, midway through the first semester.
I want to go, like, back specifically for the people watching who have no idea what you're talking about.
And you, because you
I also have no idea what he's talking about. What is the thing that you were building?
What is the program?
What is the program, and why was it important to the team? Like, what is the value in the thing that you built?
Right, so, all right, so I'll put you, like, the first thing that's, like, the big thing, right? You, like, familiar with NCAA tournament, right, of course? Like, remember the NC State's tournament run?
I don't. But,
Yeah, last year. He doesn't watch college basketball.
I don't watch college basketball.
Basically, like, the worst team in the conference won a Power 5. They were, like, 8-17 or whatever. And they won how most of the major Division I conferences work is every single team makes a conference tournament. But if you are, like, the last seed, you have to win, like, 6 games in 6 days. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, like, the top teams have to win, like, 2 games in 6 days. So, like, you get a bye all the way to, like, the semis. Worst team in the conference, pretty much, or bottom, wins 6 games in 6 days, beats Duke in the finals, and then goes into the tournament and goes to the Final Four.
Lost to Purdue.
So imagine us. Literally imagine us. We win the conference tournament and then go to the Final Four.
Okay.
Type of thing. So that's that story.
So, right. So, basically, and a lot of background with that was that what sparked that was they got lineup plus minus data, right? And which tells them, it's like, okay, like, they took every lineup they played and were like, yeah, your starting lineup is like the 70th best lineup you've played all year. And you keep playing those guys. It was like, when you play those guys together, it was like, you're losing, like, by, like, 6 points every time you play these
You
guys.
didn't calculate this, though. It was calculated, and you found that information. Correct?
Like with, like, the stuff for NC State, like, they had it. I went back and I pretty much backtraced and did the whole thing for Elms, for us. Like, I calculated all of our stuff for the year.
Okay.
Right? And so, basically, that's what I did. But then I also did, like, the individual, like, player plus minuses for the entire year. Mm-hmm. And I had other few wrinkles that I won't say on podcast that'll also, you know, help the team and just give more insights to the coach. Mm-hmm. So he can make...
Wait, why can't you say on the podcast? I'm interested.
Because if I say it, right, like, because computer science, it's not this thing where it's like, because of the age, right, it's like, I can say it and then someone else will just be able to do it. Like, if I hear someone say something else...
Okay, that's interesting.
...about analytics realistically, if I think about it, I was like, no, okay, I could probably, like, repurpose
We'll talk about that off camera then. So it was... The program, the stuff that you can name is what? It was
like the regular player plus minus and the lineup plus minuses, right?
Okay.
Right. So those two things are very well known right now. but not every school has them because not every school just has a person who will do data and stuff like that.
So how long did this take you to do? Like until it was finished?
Dude, I was first heard about this like maybe halfway through the season, and I was super curious. I'm interested in stats and data, not even anywhere remotely in the ballpark of what Stephon is interested in or be capable of doing. But I was curious. And so I talked to him. He's like, yeah, for sure. Came to my room, and he brought his computer, and dude, it was like just a million ones and zeros, X's and O's, and code. I'm like, what the hell does any of this mean? And it took him it was so, you could tell that he worked so hard on it, but you could also tell it was far from being done. And so it would take him 10 minutes to pull up my plus minus from one game. But you could also tell there was so much on the screen that even that probably took hours and hours. And then in the library, when he was presenting the project for his end of year internship presentation, whatever, and I saw what it looked like in the final form, a testament to you for being able to dedicate that time on top of the commitments for the team, your individual skill and weight room stuff, and then also school academics. Because dude, my estimate is it took hundreds of hours.
It's at least 250 hours. Seriously.
How many hours a day do you think you're spending on it?
So it's I'll say it probably averaged out to somewhere around 3 hours a day. Because literally, here's how it would work, right? I would start coding, right? Let's say I wanted to start coding at 10 p.m., right? I was like, all right, I'll do an hour of code. I'd end up coding for 4 or 5 hours.
What goes into coding? Because the extent of my coding knowledge is Python and Ruby. That's that's all I got going on right now.
Okay, right. All right, so those are coding languages, right? But
I know very super surface level, but no, I want the nitty gritty.
One time I coded a robot to pick up some objects in high school.
Because when you said it was a rough draft, was that all the information was there, but you just need to make it look pretty so it was accessible, or was there actual functional problems that you had to solve?
It was literally functional problems I had to solve, right? Because one of the big problems I had to solve, right, which was a matching names problem, because JC's name wouldn't be consistent from game to game. So I had to go search hours and hours to figure out.
What do you mean? His coach would write it down as JC one day, Jacob Cancel the other day?
No, in the game script, right? His name would be Eduardo Jacob Cancel.
Or some days it would be Jacob Cancel, or some days it would be JC.
Literally in the play-by-play, right? And that gave me so many problems. I spent so much time trying to figure it out until I found Fuzzy String to go through and name match all of this stuff. But then it's I had to build a function to make sure it does it in a certain way, so it's just not doing it.
And where are you building these functions? On
in the coding environment, right?
Which is provided to you how? You buy the coding environment, or it's given to you from the school. This is. I feel a lot of these people. I'm very non.
I'm trying to grasp what he's saying.
Okay, so I'll put you like this, right? So there's this so let's just say let's just use say you're writing a document, for example, right?
Like a Word doc.
Right. Say you're writing a Word doc, right? Where you're writing the Word doc, let's say that's my coding environment, and that's where you use your VS Code, or what I was using for a while, your Google Colab, and this is where you're making all the information you're making all your information that you're going to be trying to place or calculate.
So the Word document is you've got all these stats. That's where you keep the stats. Where you house the stats.
That's where I'm housing it and building it.
Let me try and make a metaphor to kind of connect it, and you let me know if I'm on the right track or this is completely wrong. So, what is considered the overall Google Drive?
The Google Drive?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So the coding environment, is that the Google Drive, the entire drive, and then you're taking bits and pieces of information from slides, from Excel, from Word, and you're putting everything together, and then everything is on the tabs in the Google Drive.
That's pretty good.
That's kind of makes sense?
That's pretty
good.
No.
So
I got none
So
of
the
that.
coding environment is not Microsoft Word, or it's not Google Docs, it's Google Drive. Okay. And then he has different tabs of different pieces of data on slides, on Excel, on Google Docs, on all these different things, and he puts them all together, and they're all in the drive. And then from the drive, then he creates it onto one platform. That kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
For the audience, I think that's kind of what I'm understanding.
I hope you guys got that, because I got none of that.
No, that's a pretty good example.
I just want nitty gritty. When you're coding, what are you doing?
What am I doing?
You open up a coding environment. You open a tab or
Google Drive. You go into your drive.
You open you go into the coding environment, and so you have all this information. You've already taken your time to research and find the stats. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the stats?
Okay, so let's say
when you're coding.
right? What I'm doing is stats. I research to understand the stats, right? Then what I have to do is, right, I got set up my packages. Like, I got to use pandas. I got to do matplotlib.
What is that?
Okay, that.
Dude, we're gonna be here for an hour.
I want nitty gritty. Like I'm trying to understand this. We're gonna do a quick coding overview.
Yeah,
'Cause I want to
quick coding
understand. I
overview.
want to understand on like a super surface level what it took to create this thing.
Dude, more than I think either of us could comprehend.
We're gonna try.
Well, they're gonna try, right? So, what I mean by packages, right? So, to do like special, like to do like your special, to build like your charts, like Python will have these pre-built packages.
Python is like Word, like one thing in the coding environment.
Like yeah, Python's a language.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
that I sort of get. Like just coding languages.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right. So, they're like when we have like I have to get my packages because I won't be able to, load in and do everything and display it the way I want.
You
it
buy
to.
those or download those?
Just download them, right? Free,
Okay.
right? They're free. And so once I have those packages, the first thing I'll do, I'll be like, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to pull my data. So that's when I'll get like from school, I got my XML files, right? And I'll go through the XML files to pull out the play-by-play. And then I'll pull out the box score, right? So I have those two first things. And then from those, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I clean it up so it looks clean inside of my environment.
Because otherwise, it's just you can't pull the data you want to find. So like, you want to show them his plus minus. If there's too much data and it's not clean, it's not really functional because it's just a mess.
Yeah, it's just mess.
Okay.
Exactly, right? So after I clean all that, right, now I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can actually edit it, which is where I went ahead and I made another column. And from that column, right, I'll put like lineup, which is what the lineup was in the game, right? And to do it, right, to find the starters, I'd have to write this function inside of this loop to go find the starters, right?
And you do this in the coding environment.
Yeah, do this in the code environment, right?
So when you're writing in code, you're writing in actions that you're trying to get this code to perform.
Yes.
So it's like an AI kind of thing. It's like you're telling ChatGPT or whatever to like, I want
So
you
I
to
can
do
write it
this and
myself,
this and this.
right? I can write it myself, or you can get ChatGPT. to
No,
do it.
I wasn't even trying to like disrespect you.
No,
and
no,
say
no,
you
no,
didn't
no,
write it.
no, it's okay, it's okay. No.
I'm
was
saying
gonna
like
explain it.
if I want to take a document and have ChatGPT summarize it for me, I would input the document and then my command would be please summarize this document in 500 words or less. So you're doing something similar, but instead of ChatGPT, it's the code that you've A created or B downloaded type of thing.
Right, so it can be, but a lot of this was like my own code that I just did from scratch.
Okay.
I did use chat somewhat too,
Okay.
right, just to kind of help me speed up my process.
Does ChatGPT write code?
ChatGPT?
If you told ChatGPT, if I told ChatGPT, yo, just listen to this podcast and do what Stephon said, would it be able to do something like that?
It could maybe get you some. It could get you some results, but it's a lot of the
ridiculous.
nitty.
I was just saying, on some level, I think I've listened to a few podcasts where they talk about how advanced ChatGPT would have to be to write code. And if we had a language model, an AI model that was capable of writing like fully super like complicated code, we'd all be fucked. Is that true?
So
Like as a human race?
We'd be fucked because that's like I think
We have-
coding is like it's a very creative endeavor to some degree.
it's super creative.
So like if you have a large language model that's capable of doing that, we're just fucked because then you have a large language model that's capable of like its own independent thought, and then you're just fucked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Back to like the nitty gritty of the
I heard
shit. So-
ChatGPT is nicer if you ask it, say please and thank you to it.
Oh,
You
100%.
see
Dude.
that?
When I have conversations with ChatGPT, it's thank you, yes, please. You're
'Cause when they come
you're a
up-
real one for that. Like, you got to be really nice to it, dude.
When they come alive,
Yeah. Okay, so
Trying to be safe,
my monkey brain summary of this is you have the coding environment, which is like a blank slate almost. And so what you're doing effectively is building a machine. I don't want to say machine, but it's like you're building something that can give you a
Desired outcome.
an output when you put input.
an input and output, but it's like, so you have all these stats and you input it into this thing, and when you're coding, you're putting an action towards this thing to give you a specific stat or a specific thing, an answer that you want to some degree.
Yeah, no. So like, all right. So it's like this, right? Here's the simplest thing I explain it, right? So we all know 2 + 2 = 4, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what I know at this moment. I'm not confused right now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay, right. But so what we'll do is like I'll give ChatGPT a formula, right? Follow this formula, and then instead of me going like hand by hand to doing it for everything, the coding environment will do it. Chat do it too, but you still got to put in a formula.
Can I give another kind of metaphor to try and understand, and you let me know if I'm on the right track?
Yeah.
So the coding environment could also be looked at as like Excel, and then you're taking all the data and you're putting it in Excel, and then you're using like the coding stuff to create the VLOOKUP thing, so that you're.
Well, now you've lost me. Now I don't know. What
Okay, so
that is.
VLOOKUP on Excel, finance, bro. You can highlight a set of data, go equals VLOOKUP, and then type something in, and it will like highlight or pick out of the data sets all the things that are. So if it's a data set of colors, red, green, blue, orange, yellow, whatever, and then I'll do a set on to the column next to it. I'll do equals VLOOKUP red.
This might be more confusing.
It'll
than
tell
I
you
was
like
before.
it'll tell you like how many reds are in that data set or whatever. So it's kind of like that, right? That makes sense? Okay. I kind of understand. So now, what does this algorithm...
I was gonna say, more importantly, why
Yeah.
should they care? What value did you get from this? What answers did you put into the code and get that the team should care about?
Well, number one, it tells you like who plays well together, right? Like
Which was who?
right. So, I'm not going to get into like too many specifics, but like we looked at it, right? 5 of like the 6 best lineups. Max, who comes off the bench, he was in for it.
W Glaze. W Glaze.
Analytics.
Shout out Ship to Guys the Border Glaze. We're okay with that.
W Analytics.
Right. And then it's like, so knowing that data knows it's like, okay, my team's down. I need to try and figure out where to spark them. Like, okay, maybe I should play this lineup because it's played well for me the whole year. That's something coaches might not always keep track of. Like, they'll know, like, yeah, these are my starters, or like, I know this lineup.
You have like a feeling of who plays well together, but like it's different when you have like
Actual
statistical evidence.
Or evidence, yeah.
Right, to say like, yeah, no, this group is awesome together, right? Like, there's the top lineup, right? Which didn't include Max. He played it like twice the whole year for like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But it was like, in those 3 minutes and 30 seconds versus those 2 teams we played, they outscored them by like 14 points. And it was like, wow, I probably should have gone to that a lot more, because if it was that good, that would have helped a lot, right? So it's that, but then it's like you go into individual plus minus, right? Where it tells you like a person's impact when they were in the
What is plus minus for the non-athletes watching?
So it's the
Honestly, for me too, because I might need to brush up real quick
Right,
on my
cool.
plus minus with this conversation.
yeah. So plus minus, it's the point differential while a player or lineup is on the floor in a certain time, right?
Okay.
That's what plus minus is, right? And so when you have that data, it tells you like, okay, when this guy was on the floor, our team performed at this level, or we outscored opponents by 2 points when he was on the floor during the game, right? And you take that for an entire season. But I also did like 2-player combinations, right? Which is something else that's pretty known, where it's like, it'll help you like figure out where it's like, okay, yeah, these 2 guys play together, right? It's not more so for like the guys you already play or like your starters. It's more so when I watch the podcast, it's more like the enablers, right? Where it's like, okay, this guy, not like a high minute guy, but like when he comes in the game, my top guys play way better. And as your job as a coach, you're like, okay, these guys are playing better. Why? And you go back, you watch the film, and you'll see certain things. So let's just take Max's instance, right? The top 3 guys on the team, right? More than likely, what everyone would say, they all play better. Like they all have their best plus minuses were with Max, right? And the reason...
Well, okay,
You're loving every fucking second of this, by the way.
I mean, listen, I think something that's unique about plus minus is like it shows non-stat sheet things. So it's like if I'm on the court and just providing spacing and then knowing when to move.
Is that what that is, by the way? Like when you say that he comes on and when he's on the floor, these other guys' plus minus also go up. What is causing that? In your opinion?
In your opinion.
In my opinion, well, I mean, it's spacing. Like literally, that's one of the big things for like when it comes to like plus minus. It tells you the things that the box score doesn't see. Like, oh, like you might be like, oh, well, why are we positive, right, or a 0, and this guy doesn't really score points. Where you look at, well, he might just be a spacer, and your other
which
guys score
forces them to hug him, so then somebody else might be able to get going because now they can't help, and now it's forcing them to be at a disadvantage because now.
Yeah. Also, if somebody's on the court that, like, for example, I've prided myself in knowing the offense pretty well, and so if I'm on the court, I know the offense well. It flows better, and when the offense flows better, you generate better looks, and when you generate better looks, you score more points. And on defense, I mean, listen, I'm not the best on-ball defender on an island, but like I'm very good at team defense.
Help
and
defense.
so if someone gets beat and I'm helping, and it forces I'm improving our rotations, their chance of scoring decreases.
Yeah.
And so, but those things don't show up on the stat sheet.
So his plus minus is almost a reflection of how well he knows the offensive playbook, combined with the fact that he's a shooter and can space the floor.
It's just overall. It's just how the team does when I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
Or how plus minus is kind of like how the team does when they're on the floor, and not just me. But I think the reason of, like, for example, like someone like Daniel, who I think also had a relatively decent plus minus, is not a high plus minus for the same reasons that I had a high plus minus.
Yeah.
He's a much better offensive rebounder, defensive rebounder, and crashing the glass. Plays more very physical paint defense, and so it's different reasons. But for my reasons, I mean, you can obviously attest or talk about what you think they are. From my self-reflection is that teams guard me differently. They would guard a lot of other people on the team just because we didn't shoot the ball well this year, and so not a lot of people were deemed as shooters. Whenever I got to the scores table, like I hear the other coach saying like shooter coming in, and I think that is to do with like, I mean at one point I was like top 5 in the conference in percentage, and so I mean I finished off like maybe at 30%, but at one point I was like 35, 36.
Yeah.
And so I hit a couple big threes early in conference play versus Mitchell and versus Colby Sword to kind of gain that respect. And so even if I miss I missed 11 in a row like through like the middle stretch of conference, but I mean that reputation was kind of already built. Like even if I haven't hit one in a couple games, like I get to the scores table and they're already yelling out like elevator screen coming, and even just that, for example, like I probably wasn't on Colby Sawyer's scout, played a decent amount of minutes and got in the second half and hit a big corner three to put him away, and then had a really big spark in the first half versus Mitchell. And it's like those, you don't lose if the best player who averages 20 scores 20. You lose if the person who's not on your scouting report hits a big three in the second half.
Shout out.
Or has two, you know what I'm talking about? And so I think that just being, even if I was like playing, I think I played the 9th most minutes this year when I had my individual meeting with coach and we're looking at all the statistics
Sure.
and everything. I had like the 9th most minutes, but like the 4th most made threes, and so because of that, I'm being guarded. Like for example, like Andrew who shot a lot higher percentage than me, made a lot more than me, but that fear aspect is like we can't let that go. Like we're gonna let RJ get his 10, we're gonna let Aiden get his 10 because they're gonna get 10 because they're what makes their offense go, you know. And so because of that, there's less help defense, which allows for more driving lanes for the people who excel at going to the basket.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious, is there people like you for all Division I teams, like NBA teams, pro teams, who their entire job is to be like a science, what's it called? Science engineering? Computer science major. Like they go in there and that's all they do every day and check
Correct me
stats.
if I'm wrong though. Hypothetically, if you were to come back next year and do the same thing, it would be a lot easier because the program's already built.
Oh yeah, it'd be yeah.
So they're not building the programs.
The foundation's been built.
They're not building the programs from scratch. They're using programs that a genius at coding like Steph made, and then they're putting the inputs in and getting the outputs a lot more efficiently because it was already made.
Like, is your thing so user friendly that like I could now use it to find certain data sets?
So yes, technically, if I change the code a little bit to allow you to upload an XML file or let's say a CSV, yes, it would plot out that data for you.
So like it would take you like maybe like how long would it take you to train effectively someone like me, someone who has no coding experience whatsoever, to like use your program effectively to get them some answers that they would want?
5 minutes.
Fire. So yeah, can you answer my question? What is there people like you at all levels of basketball?
So all NBA teams have this, right? All NBA teams. To varying degrees, but like they all have like plus minus and all that, right? Now it goes a lot deeper, and it's a lot of stuff that I didn't quite get to because, like I said, I'm still a computer science major, and some of that code is like woof, cannot lie to you. But because I tried some of it, there's more advanced stats that I had other than the 4 factors. But like again, like coach was, I'll probably include it still later on, but coach wasn't so like. He wasn't so ecstatic about those. He cared about those 4 factors in like the lineup data. And all
4
that.
factors meaning?
Like, so offensive rebound percentage, turnover percentage, effective field goal percentage, and free throw rate. Because those are like the 4 main.
I can tell you had the worst free throw rate. Did not shoot one all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the worst return rate?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't shoot a single free throw all year.
Okay. Yeah,
Like, now I was looking crazy at that. I was like, hold on. I was really looking through the games. Like, nah, he really didn't shoot free throw all year.
I try to think. I think I only had like 1 2-point basket. I think. Maybe 2.
No, I think it definitely was 2 because I remember one against.
Yeah, it was 2. Westcon and had a layup versus
Exactly.
Saint Germain.
Yeah.
So where do you go from here as like computer science major. Like you've done this. This is obviously like a giant thing that you're going to put on your resume and can tell people that you did. But like, where do you go from here? Like, what do you want to work on next? What is the next big Stephon Ridley coding project?
Or is there like what's next? For Steph?
Maybe you're just done with this.
We know. I mean, I personally have had some private conversations with you of like what's next for Stephon, but you can talk about kind of the journey you're on right now too.
Oh well, I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm gonna be transferring because I want to go play basketball somewhere. There's nothing against here. It's just sad. It's like it just didn't work out here. So it's like it is what it is. It's all love still, right? Still love Elms.
A lot of love for this place. A lot of love. This place loves Stephon Ridley. A lot of love for Stephon Ridley at Elms College.
Right. So I still love the place, but I gotta move on for time being. But I'm going to work on this program some more because, like I said, there's a lot more I can do. I could potentially sell something like this to pro teams.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying before. Like, bro, pro teams, they don't have someone making it; they have someone using it.
Yeah,
they have a you. They don't have a Steph.
That's why I asked, like, how easy it would be to make someone an idiot like me user friendly.
And you get paid for it. If Steph could like teach you, and then coach, you could get the internship or whatever Steph was getting, because you got paid for this too, right?
No, so it's like this. It was an unpaid internship, right?
Okay.
That I did. I did win a scholarship from the school though.
For it, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
You should get Steph to teach it to you and do it for us and put that on your resume.
I mean, do you think anyone's smart enough I went to an interview to like differentiate between the person who built the program and the person who's using it?
No.
That'd be fire.
I mean, depends on what company, but like I think if you could explain it good enough, they would not even ask if you built it or not. Mm-hmm. And then you could just
start using like.
Okay, if you're talking about data analyst though, like you need to like know far less about coding.
Yeah.
Than
but like Christian Leitner, is that his name? Yeah, he not asking no questions. He'd think yeah. And then you could just send Steph like 5% of your profits.
So in the computer aspect of things, do you want to do anything outside of this from the near future, like outside of this project specifically?
I mean, I got into computer science because like I wanted just to have the abilities. Like if I wanted to build something, I can build it, have my own company or something, right? Because I've always been like into like entrepreneurship, right? Try like all types of entrepreneurial like outlets, right? And so I was like, I just wanted to have that skill because I took computer science class my senior year of high school and I liked it. I was like, yeah, I want to major in this, right? So I decided to do that just so I could have the overall skill set to build what I wanted to build, which I would say I've accomplished pretty well because, like they say, if you learn a lot, pretty much the basic, you build pretty much anything you want. So,
Is there like a big differentiating factor between like you and let's say like the top 0.0001% of coders? Like, is there? Yes. How big is that gap?
That's humongous.
It's gigantic.
It's gigantic.
In terms of efficiency, or in terms of
everything?
Is it like a pure? Like, can you bridge that gap, or is it like just like a basic? You have to have like 210 IQ to bridge that gap, or is there anything you can do?
No, can I bridge that gap? Yeah, because it's like coding, right?
You can use AI.
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of like there's certain things like you'll never be 6'7" and so like
that's gonna come.
So like there's nothing you can do to bridge the gap between you and LeBron James. Like there's certain genetic propensities that you can't close.
Let him answer the question, I don't know, but from my understanding, like whatever you don't know, or you feel like you're not smart enough to do, you can just ask ChatGPT and they'll be able to assist you.
Yeah, Chat will be able to assist you
in certain things. Like I can't. If I ask ChatGPT to help me become a better painter, like there's just a gap between me and Da Vinci that's always going to be there, no matter what I do.
I guess.
So this is what I'm asking. It's like,
yeah, you cook. I should not have answered that question.
So not only how you said the gap is humongous, but it's like, what could you do to close that gap, if anything at all?
Oh, well, you just keep practicing. You keep learning. It's like shooting, right? Like there's a humongous gap between Steph Curry and like everyone else shooting the ball.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry says it's like, yeah, it's a huge gap, but that doesn't mean you can't be a great shooter. You got to put in the time. That's what it is. Put in the time, put in the work. Same thing with coding, right? Like I'll tell you, like, yeah, am I a fairly smart person? Yeah, cool. I'm a fairly smart person, right? But it's not like anything crazy. I'm like, I just put the time in to learn this stuff and be kind of good at it. And I just had a way to like really show the skills. That's really all it was. And if I let's say I wanted to be like top 1% coder, like yeah, I could bridge that gap, be top 1% coders. That's fine. Yeah, I could do that.
Do you want to work in coding in the future? Like, don't data analysts make like a ridiculous amount of money?
Depends on the company.
Especially if you're working for like a financial company. Is that anything that you have any interest in doing that?
I mean, like I said, like I tell people this every time, right? When it comes to like future aspirations, I just go where opportunity is, right? If the opportunity is good enough, I consider it, and I was like, okay, if I want to go there, I go, right? Because I came here to Elms, I never saw a school. I never met Coach Southall in person. And I was like, you know what? I like the opportunity enough, I'm just going, right? This kind of me, right? So, I mean, like I said, if there's a good enough opportunity, then yeah, sure, I'll go. I mean, if a company, but here's, the difference, right? Because I always want to play basketball, right? Let's say I get a pro contract for, $40,000 overseas or something. But, Microsoft said they'll hire me for, $1 million. I could easily see myself just going overseas and playing pro basketball for $40,000 because I just fucking love basketball, bro.
Okay, I was going to actually go into that too. It was how much would you attribute the success of this program to just your love of basketball? Because could you have built
everything?
Because you have built the same program for something you just didn't care about at all, like a financial stock brokerage or something. How much harder would it be for you to get interested and dial in for 4 hours of coding for something that you don't care about at all?
I wouldn't. Would it be insane for me? No, because I've worked 11 different jobs in my life, right? And it's all right, cool. I was only there at those jobs because more money. Because I saw a post. It's I'm literally at work making money to do more stuff basketball, and that's what it was. And and the thing about it is, right? Let's say I do decide I want to build this program out and sell it to people. I literally buy and sell it out, so I go pay for more basketball crap, right? Just because I just love it.
I respect it.
Right.
Where are you in the recruiting process right now?
Oh, I know where I'm about to go next year already. So
Really?
yeah, I already know.
Is that public information?
CIA operative can't say it on the podcast type information?
I can't say that.
Are you for sure playing basketball there, or there's a trial process, or what's the?
It's a trial process, but this coach is really rock with me a lot more.
That's awesome. What level is it at?
D3.
D3.
Wow.
Awesome.
Valid.
Damn, so we can get a game against Steph? Steph will probably be guarding me too, like an open gym.
Yeah, and he knows
Not
that plus.
jumping.
He knows that plus minus. He knows what to happen. He's seen hours of your game film now.
So, as someone who's seen your amazing work, what can I personally take out of it over the summer or into next year to help me be a better player?
To be a better player? Definitely, the first thing is, if you want to go into the advanced stats, just because, the whole team's turn percentage was high, make sure you take good care of the ball, right?
Okay.
I know you're not, a ball handler per se, but, just spend some time being a ball handler. Spend some time watching film to understand a lot of those things. Because your assist percentage goes up, that turnover rate will go down itself too. Because there's assist to turnover ratio. If that gets 2 to 1, that means this is a person who really takes good care of the ball, right? So that's one of the big takeaways I would say. Free throw rate, obviously, we want some more of those, but that doesn't have to be ridiculously high for you. Just understanding having that free throw rate just a little bit higher. Well,
my free throw rate was 0.
I know, right? I'm just saying, it ain't gotta be nothing crazy.
Only uphill. Only uphill from here, boys.
I want to average 1 free throw attempt per game next year. I want to shoot 25 free throws. That's the goal.
That's just how I go. But what that could show you, or what that could be a result of, is you understanding how to play off of your main skill better, right? So that's one takeaway you really could take. Offensive rebounding. Coach is really big on that.
Yeah.
You get better at that. Oh yeah.
How was I in the offensive rebounding thing?
I think it was actually pretty decent.
I think I got a decent amount of offensive boards.
Yeah, for the minutes you played, I think it was decent. It was I'd have to pull it up. My computer's actually right there. But,
We'll look at it after. We'll look at it
we'll
off
look
air.
at it after. But no, it wasn't. I think it was relatively okay. RJ had the best on the team.
Not a surprise there.
No, not
Yeah,
really. Or
It was Aaron actually, but they were neck and neck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They were
That makes
neck and
perfect
neck.
sense.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sounds good. You got anything else?
I was going to ask, do you want to go into coaching? Because someone with your giant computer science brain could be probably pretty useful to some team somewhere.
It's something people told me my whole life. I was will it happen at some point? Yeah, sure. But I'm right now, I'm trying to be the best player I possibly could be, man.
So basketball's the primary focus right now.
Yeah, so I'm right, if it happens, if coaching happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? Whatever. Go with the flow, right?
I think last question is just, do you have what's one piece of advice you give to your younger self?
Keep doing what you think is right, because chances are you're probably right.
Simple and to the point.
Raps.
Stephon Ridley.
Thank you for making the time today, Steph. Appreciate it.
The smell of cigarettes is always a reminder that you're gone.